All right, we have over here is the comparison between the first generation and the second generation ring alarm system. So on the table on the right over here, or left actually, that's how you tell, left, right. So on the left you got the new one, on the right you got the first generation one. And keep in mind, I took as much difference as I could and I remember and put it over here as a comparison. So we are going to start compare it with it. So the first thing we are going to talk about is the door sensor right here. Let's say right here. So hopefully you guys can see. I'm trying a new thing over here. So we're gonna just bring this up here so I can show you guys. So those are the two first generation sensor. You see how big and bulky it is? And this one uses CR2 or CR123 batteries. Alright. So that's that. So this, I actually replaced this batteries recently. So after 2 years. So that's not too bad. And some of it might be missing, but over here you can see. So this is quite bulky. And let's take the second generation apart as well. This one is brand new, so I hasn't even taken out the thing yet. Okay, in many ways this is easier to set up. You have a CR2, CR3020, CR2032 batteries, which is found commonly in not watch, but they call it watch batteries, like, or skill, or anything that's like maybe remote. You can find it. So it's a lot more easier to use it, and I do like they put this code right here. It is okay. It's just a 5-digit code that's randomly generated. They do have over here as well. They put it all in here so you can match it. You do not see all of those anymore. So you can see all the circuit board. You do not see that no more. So in a sense, this is easier because you don't get to, it's easier to remove it, also easier to use, and you don't have to because for me, I lost the part that's to the bottom of this, so I can't slide it off. Also, it is very hard to take it off whenever you need to take it off. So that's kind of one of the improvement that they had done. And over here, you just basically slide off, slide on, and also there do have a little button that says when the thing is tempered. So you do have that feature still. So that's cool. And you can either tape this to the door sensor, or you can screw it in. That's all up to you. And so that's kind of cool. And you do be able to interchange without the QR code be messed up, or you place in a different one. So that's kind of cool. And overall, I like the second generation quite a lot better. It's just smaller and so slick in many ways. So we're gonna put this back. I just still think this first generation is bulky, but hey, it is what it is. And this one has the button, so it's easier to set up. You just push that button, so auto links. So I had to remember where that come from. And let's talk about the next thing is, I know it's motion sensor. Okay, so here's the motion sensor. Your motion sensor, those are, a lot of people say, well, the only difference is the look of it. Actually, no. I think a lot of improvement I had done to it, and I have to give a credit to Ring for doing that. You do have a physical button, and so that's kind of cool. But I did set up one of these before. This one is brand new. As you can see over here is a tag that hasn't removed yet. A lot of things that they have improved over here is that you have the space station mounts the wall. It's easier to remove it, and also you got a batteries pole tag. Also, you notice so there is a standard AA batteries, which is very cool because I hate those CR2 batteries that you can't really find, and it is very expensive. So that kind of like add a cost to it, add insult to injury. This one is very easy to set up. For the first time, you basically pull the tab out, the those batteries remove tag. I can't pronounce that word. Those tag, you pulled it out. So anyway, this one I painted to the color. Of course, you can see now it's all broken, but you know that I've been screwing around with it. This one is the first generation. You can see it is more uglier, and you do have to be careful not to bend any of these or broke any of those or touch those metal sensor. That's where the technology come from. Also, the light is on this. Thanks for blinking, but also this light is way better. It's not as nearly bright on the second generation as on the first generation. It actually hurts your eye to look at it. So I actually prefer not to have that blue light. Also, there's your trip sensor. They do have on the second generation as well. So keep that in mind. So yeah, overall, I do like their improvement. Is it worth it to upgrade the inserts? No, because it's similar. But unless you're in the market for it, unless you want to add a new sensor, yeah, go for this one. Absolutely. It's about the it's more expensive, but I know the batteries you can find a lot easier. You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait for it to ship to you. But nowadays Amazon do Amazon Prime, free shipping 2 day, no problem. So that's motion sensor. We're gonna put that out of the side so we know we did that. Over here, we got your first generation and the second generation. First generation is over here. Second generation over here. All their sensor is matte finish, so it's not as glossy like this. So every scratch, every dirt you see, that's fingerprint. You get to see that. I do not like that aspect of it. It's kind of annoying the heck out of me. So those sensor doesn't really change as much. They are the same size. The only thing that's different is that they no longer have the security hole for the adapter no more. So that's I honestly think it's okay because I don't really use it. You do get notification when the battery is unplugged. Okay, and over here is your I feel like and it really doesn't really matter because you're gonna stick this in the wall. It doesn't really matter how I feel, but it does feel very good. I personally think this device does not I feel very light. So this one had battery too. So this one has batteries as well. I think I hasn't set up one of these bad boy yet because I hasn't needed one of these yet. But I did have this for more than a year or so. So every device that you came with those range extender. So those are not really important, but it is important enough to have a part of it, and So let's put that away. And some of you guys, I would suggest, even if you don't, if you don't need it, still plug it in anyway, just because it actually does help to save the batteries for the sensor. So that kind of helped a little bit to extend the range. Here we go. We're gonna talk about the keypad. This is what most where upgrades is. So most of the upgrade and difference, that's where it came along. So on this one you has a keypad. This one has the motion sensor right here, and your all three buttons for police, fire, let's say police, fire, and ambulance. Okay, It's actually kind of cool to have that, but I do wish this will be a little bit longer than 3-second push and hold. I didn't test it myself because I don't want to test that and call it ambulance myself. So that was just what I was told. So you can see 3 seconds not that long, and you can't really cancel it after you request it. They no longer have those panic button anymore. So the panic button is right here. So of course this one is disconnected, so I don't have to worry about accidentally pushing. Over here is still 3-button disarm. Actually, I do like this one way better. It's easier than this one. You can see this one is like a circle, and I do not like the actually I'm okay with the countdown, but this one you don't have that as far as I can tell. So so you have ring, you has disarmed, I believe, and then stay, the home, and then away. So you got disarm, home, away. So also I like this about this is it's like if you look at it, this actually, if you guys notice this, you hardly know what this icon meant if you have no idea or really get closer. So this is basically a issue with connection issue. Over here is your charging icon. Over here is your when there is something wrong with it, like for example sensor required bypass, this is what this light will come up. On this hand, where's all the light, you might wonder. It's actually under here. So those are piercing through. You can actually see it. So let me see if I can demonstrate that. Alright, so I'm back with a charger over here. You see, keep in mind, don't lose this, because if you lose it, it's kind of hard to find another one that's compatible that fit there snugly and all of that stuff, because I just tried to find it and I can't find it. So let's see. I suppose they wanted to plug this in all the time. So there you go. So alright, let me trigger that power. Ah, you know what? I wasn't plugging into the right place. Alright, resume my session. Over here is your light for your charging. This is actually a wireless, means the wireless meant it's not connected to anything. So basically you no longer have those bright light no more. So that's the physical design of the device. So I actually like that. I prefer that. But it is small, so some people might not like that. Some people might prefer the big one and you can actually see it. And some people might prefer the big button over here. Big button. This one is small button. So, but after a while, it's kind of, it really doesn't matter. It just, for me, I got used to it. And also, I don't use a keypad. I use a one-touch lock. So, you know, all the zip way that's compatible with this device, every time you lock the door, it's automatically locked. So every time you unlock the door with a code, it's automatically unlocked. So that's a cool thing. And we're gonna put this on the side and let it charge. And we finished talk about that. And let's talk about the batteries, the bridge. The most important thing of all. Alright. So over here is your bridge. But the only difference on the bridge that I was told, and I see myself, is those batteries. This is your ring batteries for the base station. I honestly don't like it just because how brittle the thing is. I feel like I'm gonna break it or accidentally pull it the wrong way, and then guess what? You're done. That's dead batteries now. No good. So this battery does not design to being pulled out, but it is a batteries that you do have to be careful. This is the first generation batteries. This is actually the battery that you notice that it actually from the device itself, you do be able to charge through micro USB. I love that feature, but I actually never used it. So I would say this batteries, it's actually kind of cool that to be able to use this device, use this generic batteries to able to interchange with Ring doorbell, Ring spotlight batteries version of it, and Ring camera. So keep in mind, these batteries have multi-purpose. This battery don't. So this battery is only good for the base station, just good for anything else, everything else. So let's say if you decided not to use the base station no more, I don't say why not, but if you decide not to use it, you can take this batteries, put it in your Ring doorbell, or if you like to say while you charging the Ring doorbell, you can actually swap these batteries with a good battery that's fully charged and put the one that's not charged into the base station, interchanged. You no longer can do that on the second generation, so that's kind of downside about it. And also, I think this kind of goes as it's like, oh, we're gonna be a cheap way to do things. So I really think they could have continued with that, but I guess so. You had to go with the change, and you go with the company change. So that's that. And over here, let's talk about the base station. This base station is matte finish. This station, I really love those kind of matte finish. I don't like glossy. I told you what. This is a second generation ring. So this one, you still get those power light, internet light, reset, pairing button. Reset is over here, pairing over here. Your USB port that you can use for charging, but it is slow charging. It's slower charge, but that's okay because nobody uses. And over here is your Ethernet. I prefer you guys prefer a lot of time to do Ethernet more than Wi-Fi. But again, it's all up to you guys how you want to do it. The hole and everything is the same. Overall, nothing really changed. So again, you can see that the device is identical, other than the whenever you get a replacement device, you will go back to the glossy version of it. But if you had if you bought a device from a kit, this will be a matte finish. So keep that in mind. Everything else, but when you go to the glossy, you really can't tell what generation this device is unless you take the batteries out, or you can see through the batteries, see if the batteries have light. When they have light, that means it's first generation, because the batteries, when it charges, it have green light, orange light. So that's the only time you can tell what the difference is for those kind of device. Of course, this is the first generation. You can see the fingerprint, the scratch, and everything. You might not mind it because you want to put this somewhere that nobody can see or nobody can snatch it. Okay, so here's your charger. I really think they had not done much to it other than made it smaller, more compactor. So yeah, I really think that's, the second generation is right here, first generation is right here. Again, they removed the hole for the battery thing. I personally think it doesn't really matter. It's just preference, and but it is bulky, smaller. This one is smaller. So, and you do have the same cord. For me, I've been using it for a long time, so this, so here you go. It's the same similar cord. So that's kind of like the same. So yeah. So anyway, that's the difference. And so next time on my YouTube channel, if you have any suggestion about what could I do the difference, what difference that you want to see, you might wonder why I might need two base stations. You well, actually, those are my unit that I just wanted to compare and to see what the difference. And I got it on a sale, so of course. So, but anyway, that's it. And thank you for watching. And I will see you guys next time. Believe it or not, have a good day. And don't let nothing stop you from doing what you're successful at it or passionate. So that's it. Have a good day.